What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss last Saturday's main event between Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira and how Oliveira is coping with his loss. But guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. Mario Bautista submits Vinicius Oliveira in round 2 of their main event on Saturday in a dominating showcase, right? Where Oliveira went out there at the start of the fight and grappled, which was, I personally did not expect whatsoever, right? Went out there, grappled, did what he could to get the fight to the ground, maybe to, at least at the time when I thought, okay, he's obviously trying to, throw Mario off of his game plan a bit. But I thought this is weird because Mario is good wrestling and good submissions. And we saw immediately once the fight got to the ground, Mario was able to sweep, reverse control, and kind of just get the fight right back into an advantageous position for him. And Oliveira, quickly, once it didn't work out on the ground and they got back up, he looked insanely gassed. He really did not have much to offer going into that second round. He did not look like himself whatsoever. There was no fire. He looked completely out of it. He looked completely tired, dejected, and out of the fight. And going into that second round, Mario was able to capitalize off of that. Once the fight got to the ground, he was able to, reversed it, threw a couple submissions, and then was able to find the rear naked choke so quick, cinched it up, tapped almost immediately. And that was tough. You could see how tight he had that choke on, where Oliveira was like, ah, shit, it's over. And big win for Mario, right? Puts him right back into, because even though he lost to Umar in his last fight, he didn't really lose any traction, right? And he went out there and proved that he really still is, a top 5 guy. I really think he's a top 5 guy in the division. He called out Corey Sandhagen, which was his, first loss in the UFC in his UFC debut, and he wants to get that fight back. I think he's done more than enough to earn that fight. Obviously, I want to see Corey versus Sean, but I think Mario versus Corey makes a lot of sense. Also, I think Mario versus Sean makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of different things that you can do right now with Mario Bautista after this victory. He looked good. He looked strong. He looked confident, sense of urgency, all those things that you want to see. And then as for Oliveira, completely coping with the loss, talking about how he broke his arm a few weeks back. It was either, I want to say 3 weeks or 6 weeks, he said, that he was even training with a cast on. Yeah, honestly, part of me wants to be like full of shit, like you're just making excuses. I do believe that he broke his arm and trained with the cast. You can't make that shit up. And personally, if you break your arm and not pull out of the fight, you're out of your fucking mind. Then you have made, it's like once you make a decision that you're okay, you can proceed with whatever it is in life. You can't really make any excuses after that. You know what I mean? Like you've kind of all null and void on excuse making at that point. You've followed through and said, hey, I can make this fight. And what are you doing training with a fucking cat? I don't know. Just sometimes just take your loss, man. Take your L and move on. Don't make any excuses. Even when you're in the right, I've always felt like this. If you have to explain yourself, even when you're right, you're wrong. Like, because if you're right, you don't have to fucking explain yourself, right? And you go out there and you take the fight, you fight to the best of your ability, and you lose, you lost. If you had a broken arm, you shouldn't have taken the fight. And that goes with like everything in life. If you're not prepared and you know it, then don't make any fucking excuses afterwards. Be a man about your shit. So, but, I'm curious to see how he's going to bounce back from this loss, because he started in the UFC on such a hot streak, confident, explosive, and now to deal with this type of loss on a main event, already coping with it. We'll see. I love to see the mindset of athletes and how they handle setbacks. That's so interesting to me, because that is what really makes or breaks a fighter, specifically a lot of athletes. it can create that half of a second, quarter of a second hesitation in any of your decisions, and that can be the outcome. Lead to a different outcome, right? But guys, that's going to do it for today. I didn't really talk about much of the other fights. I don't know, man. I just lacked motivation, I suppose. So, but if you guys want to hear more from me, I will do more from the few views I do get. But guys, that's going to do it for today. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.